Hello good people, today we are going to talk about social engineering. What is social engineering? Social engineering is a manipulation technique that exploits human error or behavior to gain private information, access or valuables. In cybercrime, these human hacking scams tend to lure unsuspecting users into exposing data, spreading malware, infection or giving access to restricted system. Attacks can happen online, in person, and via other form of interaction. Since social engineering touches on human behavior, then we need to understand how does social engineering work. In a typical social engineering attack, cybercriminal will communicate with the intended victim by saying they are from a trusted organization. In some cases, they will even impersonate a person the victim knows. Guys, I am fully aware some of us at one point or another have ever been called by cybercriminals intending to be employees from the leading telecommunication company here in Kenya by the name Safaricom, and are collecting personal data from such as that's ID number to update their records. If the manipulation works, the attacker will encourage the victim to take further action. This could be giving away sensitive information such as password, date of birth or bank account details, or they might encourage the victim to visit a website where malware is installed that can cause disruption to the victim's computer or the mobile device. In worst case scenario, the malicious website strips sensitive information from the device or takes over the device entirely. Another thing that you also need to understand, why is social engineering so very much dangerous? All this said, one of the greatest danger of social engineering is that the attacks don't have to work against everyone like other form of attacks. A single successfully fooled victim can provide enough information to trigger an attack that can affect the entire organization. Over time, social engineering attacks have grown increasingly sophisticated. Not only do fake websites or emails look realistic enough to fool victims into revealing data that can be used for identity theft, social engineering has also become one of the most ways for attackers to breach an organization's initial defenses in order to cause further disruption and harm. That one said, what are some of the types of common social engineering attacks? Number one is what we refer to as phishing. Majority of you must have interacted with it unknowingly. With phishing, attackers pretend to be a trusted institution or individuals in an attempt to persuade you to expose personal data and other valuables. Attacks using phishing are targeted in one of two ways. Number one is what we refer to as spam phishing. This is a widespread attack aimed at many users. These attacks are non-personalized and try to catch any unsuspecting person. Some of you, I know at one point, must have received some emails from anonymous users requesting you to provide them with your personal details, which may include your bank account details and your place of residence, so that they deposit you some certain amount of money, since they are looking for serious people whom they can partner with and assist them in establishing some business in your residential country. Another form of phishing is what we refer to as the spear phishing. Attackers use personalized information to target particular users. In this case, an attacker may impersonate to be a celebrity or a high government official and want to collect certain personal data from you. So guys, it's good to be aware of these common celebrities, so that if somebody impersonates to be them, then you should be able to shut down such an attempt. Another form of social engineering is what we refer to as baiting. As its name implies, baiting attacks use a false promise to pique a victim's greed or curiosity. They lure users into a trap that steals their personal information or inflicts their system with malware. The most reviled form of baiting uses physical media to disperse malware. For example, an attacker leaves a bait, typically a malware infected that's flash disk, in a conspicuous area where a potential victim are certain to see them. It can be in your office, it can be in bathroom, elevators, or the parking lot of a targeted company. The bait has an authentic look to it, such as label presenting it as the company's payroll list. You as a victim, you'll pick up the bait out of curiosity and insert it into your work or home computer to see its content. It will result in automatic malware installation on the system, and by doing that, the attacker will have achieved his or her main purpose through such an action. Another form of social engineering is what we refer to as scareware. With scareware, victims being bombarded with false information, alarms and fictitious threats. Users are deceived to think their system is infected with malware, prompting them to install software that has no real benefit other than for the perpetrator or is malware itself. A common scareware example is illegitimate looking pop-up banners appearing in your browser while surfing the web, displaying text such as "Your computer is infected with virus." It either offers to install the tool, often malware infected, for you, or will direct you to a malicious site where your computer becomes what? Infected. Number 4 form of social engineering is what we refer to is as pretexting, and it normally happens even on our WhatsApp. Here, an attacker obtains information through a series of cleverly crafted lies. The scam is often initiated by a perpetrator pretending to need sensitive information from our victims so as to perform critical tasks. The attacker usually starts by establishing trust with their victim by impersonating co-workers, police, bank and tax officials, or other persons who have right to know authority. The pretexter asks the questions that are ostensibly required to confirm the victim's identity, through which they gather important personal data. Those are some of the forms of social engineering tricks. Then we should ask yourself a question. Since it targets on human behavior, how do we spot social engineering attacks? We understand defending against social engineering requires you to practice self-awareness. Always slow down and think before doing anything or responding. Attackers expect you to take action before considering the risk, which means you should do the opposite. Good people, to help you, here are some of the questions you should ask yourself whenever you run into unsuspecting circumstance. Question number 1 touches on emotion. Are my emotions heightened? When you are especially curious, anxious, angry, fearful, or excited, you are less likely to evaluate the consequence of your action. Question number 2. Did this message come from a legitimate sender? Inspect email addresses and social media profiles carefully when getting a suspect message. Do my friend actually send this message to me? Guys, it's always good to ask the sender if they were the true sender of the message in question. Don't just see a name of the person you know sending you that message and assume is that person. Always find out the information. Does the website I am on have all the details? Irregularities irregularities in the URL, poor image quality, old or incorrect company logos, and web pages typos can all be red flags of a fraudulent website. Another question: does this offer sound too good to be true? In the case of giveaways or other targeting methods, offers are a strong motivation to drive a social engineering attack forward. You should consider why someone is offering you something of value for a little gain on their end. When the deal sounds too good, what are you supposed to do? You will answer your question. Attachment or links suspicious. If a link or a file name appears vague or odd in a message, reconsider the authenticity of the whole communication. Then another question: can this person prove their identity? If you cannot get this person to verify their identity with the organization they claim to be part of, do not allow them to access what they are asking for. Then those are some of the questions you need to ask yourself. We now come to another topic: how do we prevent social engineering attacks? Beyond spotting an attack, you can also be proactive about your privacy and security. Knowing how to prevent social engineering attacks is incredibly important for all mobile and computer users. Here are some important ways to protect against all types of cyber attacks. Number one, very important point: never click on links in any emails or images. Take the extra step of investigating to find an official version of the URL in question. Never engage with any URL you have not verified as official or legitimate. Number two, use what we refer to as multi-factor authentication. Online accounts are much safer when using more than just a password to protect them. Multi-factor authentication adds extra layers of security to verify your identity upon login. These factors can include biometrics like fingerprints, facial recognition, or temporarily passcodes sent via text messages, and sometimes we always refer to them as OTPs, one-time password. Use strong passwords. Each of your passwords should be unique and complex. Aim to use diverse character types including uppercase, numbers, and symbols. Also, you will probably want to opt for longer password when possible. Avoid sharing names of your wife, your school, pets, place of birth, your home, or other personal details including your daughter or your son. You could be unknowingly exposing answers to your security question or parts of your password. Another way to prevent social engineering attack: be cautious of building online friendship. While the internet can be a great way to connect with the people, this is a common method for social engineering attacks. Watch for tells and red flags that indicate the manipulation or clear abuse of what? Of trust. Then another way: never let strangers connect to your primary Wi-Fi, whether at workplace or at your home. At home or in the workplace, access to a guest Wi-Fi connection should be made available. This allows your main encrypted password secured connection to remain secure and interception free. Should someone decide to eavesdrop for information they want to be able to access the activity you and others would like to keep private. Then another way in which you can prevent this social engineering attack: don't ever leave your device unsecured, whether your mobile phone or computer. Always lock your computer and mobile devices, especially at workplace. When using a device in public spaces like airports and coffee shops, always keep them in your possession. When you are rushing to a washroom or somewhere, leave your devices locked so that nobody can log into them for security purpose. Keep all your software updated as soon as available. Immediate updates give your software essential security fixes. When you skip or delay updates to your operating system or apps, you are leaving non-security holes exposed for hackers to target. Since they know this is a behavior of many computer and mobile users, you become a prime target for socially engineered malware attackers. Thank you so much guys for listening to me. As I promised you, I'll be sharing some of the cybersecurity tips to guide us at a workplace or when we are doing our own business. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.